You know, I saw the poster of Crime 101 and I saw a bit of a trailer and I thought, hey, that looks like Drive.
Earth, heart, man, woman.
And I think I was right. It does look like Drive. It looked like Chris Hemsworth wanted to have a go. You know, who doesn't want to be Ryan Gosling in Drive? The ultra cool dude in Drive. Who doesn't want to make a movie like that? So I was trepidatious. I was not looking forward to this movie. However, I did want to be pleasantly surprised because I think I hold up hope, because who doesn't love a heist, thriller, car chasey, robbery, action flick? Who doesn't? And I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to look forward to it. I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. Good cast. Why not? It looked like it was going to be a hot mess. And it was. I was hoping to be pleasantly surprised, and I wasn't. So basically it tells the story of Mr. Sexy Chris Hemsworth, who is a driver. He's a man who can rob people without them being hurt. He's a robber with no nobility. You know, I don't hurt my clients. Or he's just one step ahead and he's able to get all these jewels and, you know, leave no trace behind. Yes, he's the man. He's the Ryan Gosling. I mean, sorry, he's Chris Hemsworth. So Chris Hemsworth plays this guy and he's ultra cool. He's dressed in his suit. Oh, you look like you live in a place similar to Robert De Niro in Heat. What's that? Is that a little beach house? Is it next to the sea? Wonder what inspired that. Oh, look, there's a scene where it's based under a tunnel, under a freeway where they're doing their meetings. I wonder what inspired that. Anyway, I'm not even starting my rant, but I will say that I feel like am I missing something? Am I being too critical? Isn't this the aim for me to critique? Anyway, let's go on to it before I really go into my rant. Chris Hemsworth plays this guy, and it's not that he gets lazy, but his tidiness maybe starts to unravel. There's a few intertwined stories. Halle Berry, who I thought was going to be, she's not done much for recently. I thought she may have retired, but I tell you, I was mostly impressed with Halle Berry. I think it was her character that I liked the most, and her performance that I liked the most. She plays this very unappreciated insurance broker for the rich, and she's waiting to be partner and she's getting turned over. Then we've got Mark Ruffalo playing the cliche cop who's tired of his job. He loves his job, but no one listens to him. No one listens to his theories. He's out there. Oh, come on, man, just do the stats. You know, don't be starting. And he's chasing. He's got Chris Hemsworth where you think he's got him, but his whole department are just like, nah. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, this I've never seen this before. A tired cop who's just a bit tired of people not listening to him, and I wonder if he's going to discover who it is. Anyway, so it starts going a bit pear-shaped. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. I'm not going to give away spoilers. Chris Hemsworth's a robber. Halle Berry's an insurance broker who's not really enjoying a job and being passed over. Mark Ruffalo is he's a tired cop. Nick Nolte is, honestly, the performance of Nick Nolte, you know, all due respect for the past, but what was that? What was that character? Nick Nolte plays Chris Hemsworth's go-to guy. Basically, Chris Hemsworth's boss-ish. And then we've got Barry Keoghan, who plays a character who works for Nick Nolte. So Nick Nolte's basically got these two guys. He's got Chris Hemsworth, who's the tidy man who leaves no one behind. But you've got Barry Keoghan, who's basically playing someone who's a bit alternative, not as careful, basically a bit of a clown, if you ask me. I won't give more about the film. It's about getting diamonds. It's about getting money. It's about getting, it's about thieves, getting rich. That's it, basically. Whether it be a bank job, it'd be a diamond job, this or that. It's basically that. That's what it is, and it's about cop robbing. It's about cop getting the bad guy or trying to get the bad guy. And then you've got another little story intertwined with Halle Berry being this bit tired of her job, being passed over, fed up worker who's trying to stay on the straight and narrow, but does she get turned away to the dark side? So that's the movie. That's the crux of the movie. And now everyone seems to be loving this movie, and I'm sorry, I've never been so bored not in my life, but I was bored. This is a bank heist action movie, and I was bored. Am I being too critical? I'll start. Barry Keoghan plays the most under-threatening robber I've ever seen. All he does is there is no menace in him. He just looks like a clumsy idiot. He's falling off his bike. He messes up a robbery. They make him look like a clown. Yes, I know he's supposed to leave some details behind, I think. But he was so unthreatening. It was unreal. I don't know what his character was for. You could have got someone a little bit more menacing. And he goes around on his motorbike that literally is a 125, and he's literally getting away from Chris Hemsworth driving a 675 brake horsepower Chevrolet, and Barry Keoghan's whizzing through the traffic. It reminds me of Terminator 2 when the kids play Edward Furlong's changing gears about 152 times. It's cliche after cliche. As I said, Thai cop, no one believes in him, fighting against red tape and going through divorce. Never seen that before. The gentlemanly handsome robber, seen that, who's got morals. And the love interest, don't get me started on the love interest. That love interest nearly had me shouting at the screen. It was so obvious what was coming. It was just a vacuous, right, what we're going to do, we're going to have a love interest. Just you two talk, will you? 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And it felt that. I was bored 30 minutes in. The problem was there was so much space given between the development of each character that by the time you got back to them, you'd lost interest. There was no intensity, no urgency. The chase scene was crazy, ridiculous. Basically, the director has watched Heat, he's watched True Romance, he's watched Enemy of the State, I'll chuck in Bullet, the old Bullet. And this is basically his attempt at a love letter to the movies, to those movies. And if you have, the thing is, if you haven't seen any decent heist movies like the ones I've just mentioned, you will probably enjoy this. It will probably blow your socks off. But if you have, like me, you cannot unsee every movie inspiration in this. The scenes under the bridge, it's all Heat. It's so Heat inspired. Under the bridge, the dark blue kind of scenery, the dark night, the wide shots of LA. It was just very, very. It was so boring. Halle Berry's performance was great. It was boring. It was cliche. I'd give this a 2 out of 5. I think it's that bad. The soundtrack was awesome. The soundtrack was banging, and it just couldn't pull the film together. By the time it came to the one thing I will give it is the ending. There was I've never really seen that ending before, and it still didn't make sense, to be fair. It really didn't make sense how someone was gifted a car. It was a nice ending. And I'll tell you what, there's one ending. If you've ever seen True Romance or Enemy of the State, basically where a number of parties come together and basically it goes a little bit pear-shaped when these parties come together. If you've seen those scenes and then you watch this film, you go, well, that's from there, The Town, let me give you an example. The Town, Ben Affleck, that was inspired by Heat. Ben Affleck loves Heat. It was inspired by Heat, and he's done a fantastic job. The Town was great. It was no Heat, but it was great. This, inspiration from so many things. Chris Hemsworth just seemed like he was just... I guess you can't really be too emotional with a film that's an action heist movie, but you probably could have chucked something in. It was boring. I was bored 30 minutes in. I was bored to the end. I stood up before the end. It's a shame, but this is what you do. You copy all these other movies and don't really inject anything into it differently. If you, as I said, if you have not seen True Romance, if you've not seen Enemy in the State, if you've not seen Bullets, if you've not seen Heat, there's many others, but I could see the inspiration on these. You will love this film. You will love this film if you haven't seen any of those. If you have seen them, you'll just see it. What do you think, guys? Have you seen Crime 101? What did you think of it? Am I being too harsh? I don't think I am. It was what I thought it was going to be, and it lived up to that, unfortunately. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you could like and subscribe, it'd be fantastic. And if you still like my opinion, that'd be great. I'll see you on the next one. I'm sorry, just didn't like it.